The primordial sonic manifest of the universe, a perspective from the Vedas, Upanishads, and the other scriptures of the East is conceived and presented by C.V. Gopinath and produced by Radhika Productions, Mysore.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Sahana Vavato Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om Agni Shoma Gurudvayam Pranavakam Bindutrinetrojwalam Bhasvadrupamukham Shivangriyugalam Parshvastha Suryanilam Udyadbhaskara Koti Koti Sadrusham Hamsam Jagadvyapinam Shabda Brahmamayam Hrudambujapade Nide Sada Samsmaret. Discerning the Omkar, the primordial sound of the universe, and understanding its genesis as the first divine act of creation, the very basis of the origin of the universe, is a tough subject. I shall try to make a small analysis. Being an engineer, I would like to give a scientific temper to the production of sound, especially with reference to Omkar from an engineering perspective. Om, the primordial sound, the mythology says that it is the first sound that was produced at the time of creation along with the light. When the Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb, exploded, the explosion is similar to the explosion of gaseous ball in the modern Big Bang theory. The golden womb breaks into two, and through this aspota or explosion, the light emits along with the sound. That's the primordial sound. As per mythology, Shiva's cosmic dance produces the primordial sound through his damaru. Nrittavasane Nataraja Rajo Nanada Dakham Navapanchavaram Uddhartu Kamaha Sanakadi Siddhan Yetad Vimarshaha Shivasutra Jalam. The playing of the damaru of Lord Shiva, the sound that was produced was so powerful that made the Brahmas 4 Manasaputras, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana and Sanat Kumara, aghast. They tried to pursue the sound and the direction of the sound, ultimately to perceive that the powerful sound was nothing but Om, the primordial sound. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, which is a part of the Vajasanaya Samhita in Krishna Yajurveda, we speak about the production of the sound. Shikshavalli lays the foundation for the production of the sound. It says, Shiksham vyaakhyasyamaha varnaswaraha matra balam samasantanaha ityukta shikshadhyayaha. Shikshavalli is the process of training where Guru is teaching the Shishya, the disciple. Guru pronounces and the Shishya repeats. The Guru Uchcharana and the Shishya Anuruccharana. He is repeating that. And in the process, the science of pronunciation is also taught. Shiksham Vyaakhyasyamaha. Guru says, I describe it in detail. Varnaswaraha. Varna is a consonant. Swara is a vowel. Accents are made only by vowel sounds. Matra is the measurement. It is the unit of time. Swara is to be combined with Varna. On the basis of a Varna, a Swara and a Matra, a tangible syllable can be produced. Balam is Shakti, the power or the support. Sama is a smooth, continuous, analogous sound. Therefore, the combination of Swara and Varna with the support of Matra gives rise to Sama, a smooth, continuous, analogous sound. In Shantipat too, we give a special place to Sama and say Sama Shantihi. Now, Matra Balam. Matra defines the unit of time. Let us try to understand Matra. Ekamatro bhavet hrasvah, dvimatrantu dheergha uchyate. Trimatrastu pluto gyeyah, vyanjanantu ardhamatrakam. Swara consists of 3 levels: Hrasva, Dheergha and Pluta. Each has specific time frames. These time frames are referred to as matras. For example, A, if you take 1 second, it is called Ekamatra. A, you take 2 seconds, which is double the time and called Dvimatra. Pluta has Trimatra, where it exceeds the Hrasva and Dheergha. That is, when a child cries continuously, when you sing a song, the Pluta is utilized. The Vyanjanas, or the consonants, are only half units of time. Consonants can emerge as complete sounds only when they are supported by vowels with the support of matras. The combination of Varna and Swara with the support of Matra produces the Sama. Sama is a continuous, smooth, analogous sound. In Islam, in the Sufism, it is referred to as Sama. Sama is the sound which takes you in communion with Allah. La ilahi illallah. There is also a grammar. The grammar of recitation is referred to as Tawzeed or Tazweer. Similarly, in Vedic recitations too, you have intonation which is called as Saswara. Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita and Prachaya. The normal pitch, the below normal, the above normal and the abnormal. These are the 4 levels of pitch of sound. The intonations in the Vedas also vary. The Rig Veda has 4 swaras. Yajurveda has 4 swaras. Sama has 7 swaras and Atharva has 8 swaras. Similar to the intonation in Christianity too, they adopt a tape method for recitation of Gregorian chantings or prayers to the Lord. Now again, coming to the basis of the sound itself, it consists of Swara and Varna. It's a combination of vowels and consonants. With the intonations at 4 levels of pitch, you are going to make a combination of sounds which can create vibrations. The intonation, for example, in one of the Rigveda mantras, A is a Anudatta, Mi is a Prachaya, Agni mi ile purohitam. They are the Rigveda mantras which define the intonations. What are these mantras? Mananat mantraha or Mana Trayate iti mantraha. Mana is mind. Trayate is protects. What protects the mind is mantra. Kshata trayate iti kshatriya. Kshata means onslaught. Trayate is to protect. One who protects you from the onslaught is kshatriya. Similarly, mana trayate iti mantraha. What protects the mind is mantra. In Sanskrit, the word mantra has several meanings. Mana plus tra is equal to mantra. There is a special meaning for mantra. Mana is mind or the intellect. Because of this intellect, the mind is filled with various thoughts. These thoughts are conditioned. Mind is conditioned by the materials of the materialistic universe. Tra is to deliver or to liberate, or the action of detaching from the conditioning. Therefore, the best meaning could be projected like this. Mana is mind and tra is to liberate. The mind is conditioned. Mantra liberates the conditioned mind. Mantras are spiritual sound vibrations which have the power of setting the mind free from the physical and material conditioning. The mind assumes certain conditioned status because of the worldly attachments in the physical world, or the mind is clouded or shrouded. The mantras can clear or remove the shroud of conditioning. Therefore, mantras are transcendental sound vibrations with potency of liberating the mind from material conditioning. Who spoke these mantras? Or who created these mantras? The Siddha Purushas achieved through penance or tapasya. They delivered the thoughts and ideas to the disciples in the form of germs of wisdom of spirituality. One such mantra states, Idam Jagat Nama Rupam. Jagat is the universe. Universe as a condition of manifestation. The manifestation has Nama and Rupa. Nama is the name, the word, the logo or the idea, whereas Rupa is the form. We see a tree. We look at the sun, the moon, the stars. We see the animals, the birds, etc. All these objects are conditioned by their form and content. Every manifestation has a form, the Rupa. The conditioned manifestation has an expressed word, Nama, appropriate to every form, that is Rupa. Consider human microcosm. There is Chitta Vritti, the mind stuff. The mind is working constantly. If you drop a small pebble into a well, it creates ripples in the water. If you have a tap which drops water into a bucket drop by drop, non-stop, it creates ripples constantly. Similarly, the mind is constantly in the state of creating ripples forever. This is Chitta Vritti. Thought waves occur and thought and words become inseparable. All the waves created by the action of Chitta Vritti are conditioned by Nama, that is the word, and the Rupa, which is the form. If the nature is built throughout on the same plan, similar conditioning of Nama and Rupa exists for building the whole cosmos. Yatha yekena mrutpindena sarvam mrunmayam vijñātam syat. If you take one lump of clay and analyze the qualities of the clay, all the qualities of that material, of the clay, will exist in the whole of the clay lump. Knowledge of microcosm leads to macrocosm. Rupa, the form, forms the outer crust. within which Nama, the name, is the inner essence or kernel. Body is the form, mind is the antahkarana, which represents the name yet again. Sound symbols are universally associated with Nama in all beings with power of speech. Therefore, the thought waves, that is chitta, manifests in the form of word, concrete form. Rupa and Nama represent the chitta vritti. Word and the thought are inseparable. Similarly, Creator, that is Brahma, from his chitta vritti, he creates the universe. That is how it is called as Manasa Srishti, creation by mind. Yet again, Hiranyagarbha Sukta says, Hiranyagarbha samavartatagre bhutasya jatah pratireka asit. When the light was created for the first time, that is in the golden color, and the sound manifested in the name through an explosion, makes the expressed sensible universe as form behind which stands the eternal, inexpressible spota, the explosion, and the manifester as logos. St. John's Gospel majestically expounds, I quote, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God," unquote. Christianity speaks about the first word or the primordial word being with the God. Here, the first sound itself, which is Om, was created with the aspota. This is an eternal aspota, is an eternal material for all ideas and names. This is the power through which the Lord creates the universe, or Lord becomes conditioned as spota and evolves himself out as a concrete sensible universe. This spota has one word as its only possible symbol, and this is Om. This spota and Om are inseparable at macro level, that is, at the cosmic universe level. Like the word and the thought are inseparable at the micro level, and hence Om becomes holiest of all the holy words, mother of all names and forms, eternal through which universe is created, which covers all grounds. This is Akhanda, indivisible. This is referred to as Shabda Brahma, the primordial sound. At the time of creation, the first word that was created, the first sound, holy sound that was created, the Shabda, that is how we refer to as Shabda Brahma. It is also referred to as Nada Brahma, the source of all music. The Upanishads give special treatment to Omkara. The Mahanarayana Upanishad speaks about the grammar and formation of Om. Akara ukara makara iti tan ekada samabhavatu tademadomiti. The Om is made up of Akara, Ukara and Makara. As I spoke earlier, the sound, the analogous sound, was created by the digital inputs of Swara, the vowel, and Vyanjana, the consonant, depending upon the matra, that is the unit of time. For a normal syllable, there is one Swara, which is 1 unit, and another Vyanjana, half unit, 1.5 raised to the power of 4, that is the 4 levels of production of sound, Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita and Prachaya. So 1.5 raised to the power of 4 times of permutations and combinations are possible. Let us compare it with Om. As per Mahanarayana Upanishad, Om consists of Akara, ukara, and makara. Being vowel, akara has one unit. Ukara has another unit, yet again a vowel. Makara, being vyanjana, consonant, has half unit, and hence, altogether, there are 2.5 units in Omkara instead of usual 1.5 units in a normal syllable. Thus, in Omkara, 2.5 raised to the power of 4 results in many more combinations as compared to a normal syllable. Hence, maximum combinations are possible only in Om, and no other syllable can have so many combinations. In Chandogya Upanishad, there is description of eternal consciousness. The Chandogya Upanishad says, Om ityekaksharam brahma agnir devata brahma ityarsham gayatri chandam paramatmam swarupam. Chandogya says Om is Brahma, the eternal consciousness. The Rishi of the Chandogya compares Om with Gayatri. It is referred to as Tripada Gayatri, the three divisions. Pada is a division. Om has three divisions: Akara, Ukara, and Makara. It is compared with the three divisions of Gayatri. The Akara, Ukara, and Makara are referred to as Adi Granthi, Madhya Granthi, and Antya Granthi. It also represents Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Therefore, it is said that the Trinity resides in Om. The Mandukya Upanishad lays emphasis on the concept of timelessness to define Om as beyond all times. Om ityedaksharamidam sarvam tasyopavyakhyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyaditi sarvam omkarameva yacchanyattrikalatita sarvam omkarameva. Mandukya, mandukasya bhavaha mandukyah. When you sit in a posture of manduka, that is frog, you will be able to focus or concentrate your mind. The mandukya deals with the japa, or the focusing, or the concentration of the mind. In Mandukya, it says, the one syllable, Om itself, is Brahma. And it is beyond all the three times, Bhuta, Bhavishyat, and Vartamana. Mandukya Upanishad speaks quite a lot about dhyana, japa, and tapa, and all of which need the support of Om. Mundaka Upanishad speaks in terms of communion of Jivatma with Paramatma. In Mundaka, Omkara is referred to as Pranava. Pra plus Nava. In Sanskrit language, there are 22 prefixes. Pra is one of the prefixes. Nava means new. Pranava becomes ever new or eternal. So this Pranava word is always used for Omkara because Om is eternal. Pranavo dhanusharo hyatma brahmatallakshamuchyate apramattena vedhavyam sharavattanmayo bhavet. Upanishad says Pranavo dhanush. What is dhanush? It is bow. Make Om as the bow. Sharohyatma. Make your own Atma as the Shara, the arrow. The arrow should have a target. Atma should get merged with Paramatma. That is the target. Brahmatallakshamuchyate. The arrow which you are going to shoot shall have Brahma as the target. Brahma is the eternal consciousness. Merging with Brahma means communion of Atma with the eternal consciousness. This is our target. The arrow is to be shot on this target. For this, we need the support of the bow. We need some support in any case. That bow, which is the base, or support is pranava or om only. It means that making Atma as arrow, keeping Brahma or eternal consciousness as the target, and making bow as the support, we have to get the communion of Atma with the Paramatma. Here, what is needed to be understood is that it is the bow which provides speed or force to Atma. In other words, it is only Omkara which provides the force to the Atma to reach Paramatma. We have to understand one more aspect. Apramatyena vedhavyam. You have to shoot the arrow without missing the target. Pramatta is to miss the target. Apramatta means without missing the target. The arrow should get fixed with the Brahma, the target. That is how Jivatma merges or has communion with the Paramatma. In Kathopanishad too, there is a discussion about Omkara. In Kathopanishad, Yama, the god of death, and the hero Nachiketa, who is a young boy and seeks truth in the process of Satyanveshana, quest for truth. He is a seeker of truth. Nachiketa goes to Yamaraja and tries to learn about Atma, the soul. In the process of preaching, Yama reveals the secret of Atma to Nachiketa. Sarve Veda Yatpadamamananti Tapamsi Sarvani cha Yadvadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Tat Tatpadam Sangrahena Bravimi Om Ityaitat. I tell you briefly of that goal which all the Vedas with one voice propound, which all the austerities speak of, and wishing for which people practice brahmacharya, the celibacy. It is this Om. He refers to Om. Further, it says, Etadhyevaksharam Brahma, Etadhyevaksharam Param, Etadhyevaksharam Gyatva, Yo Yadichati Tasya Tat. This letter, Om, indeed is the Brahman, the Hiranyagarbha. And this letter is indeed the Supreme Brahman. Anybody meditating on this letter wants any of the two, to him comes that. In this manner, Yama delivers Atmagyana, that is, discerning the secrets of soul to Nachiketa, while indicating Om as the supreme consciousness. He speaks in terms of the support that one gets through the word Om. Further, the Upanishad says, Yetada lambanam shreshtham yetada lambanam param yetada lambanam gyatva brahmaloke mahiyate. This medium is the best. This medium is the supreme Brahman. Meditating on this medium, one becomes adorable in the world of Brahman. In Rigveda, the Vamadeva Rishi's mantra describes Omkara as Vishwatita or Parapranava, transcendental. He calls Om as Samudra, the sea, Aparimita, infinite, Ruparahita, formless, Sarvavyapi, all-pervading. Like the waves hitting the shores are eternal, the Pranava is also eternal, he says. Samudrat urmir madhumang udarat, upamshuna sama amrutatvam anat. Thus, Vamadeva Rishi's mantras proclaim Om as Amrutatulya. The returning waves of the sea are eternal, and so is Om. The Shvetashvatara Upanishad creates a beautiful scene while dealing with Om. It speaks about dhyana and the churning that is required for concentration of the mind to be in communion with Brahma, the super consciousness. The Upanishad says, Swadehamaраಣಿಂ ಕೃತ್ವಾ ಪ್ರಣವಂ ಚೋತ್ತರಾರಣಿಂ ಧ್ಯಾನ ನಿರ್ಮಥನಾಭ್ಯಾಸಾತ್ ದೇವಂ ಪಶ್ಯೇನ ಗೂಢವತ್. Arani means wooden stick. By rubbing the aranis or two wooden sticks, fire is produced. The Shvetashvatara says, by involvement of Om and Atma, the soul, that is, by churning of the Om with Atma, you will be able to realize the Brahma. Here, the process of churning stands as a symbol of penance or focusing of mind. If one's own body is an arani and Om is another arani or samidha, the action of production of fire represents process of enlightenment. This also indicates achieving satisfaction or at higher levels attainment of the status of bliss. Further, in the Gopada Brahmana, which is a part of Vedas, an altogether new dimension is projected of Om, the primordial sound. Atma Bhaishajyam Atma Kaivalyam Omkaraha. It says the existence conflicts can be cured through the Omkara. That is, the never-ending conflicts of duality we face in our bhava or existence can be resolved through Om. Amrutam vai pranavaha. Amrutenaiva tan mrutyum tarati. Tadyatha mantrena vagartam samkrameta evam tat pranavenapa santanoti. If we have to cross a canal full of water, we need the support of a stick or a shaft. And similarly, to cross the canal of our existence, the bhava, which is full of conflicts, we need the support of Om. In Prashnopanishad, Omkara is referred to as Avinashi and Nirvikalpa Shabda. In Taittiriya Shikshavalli, Om is referred to as a powerful tool. It is projected in the form of authority and compared to infinite force. Yaschandasam Vrishabho Vishwarupaha. The Vrishabha means bull. The bull represents the power. Here, the Vrishabha is referred to as all-powerful, signifying that Om is all-potent. Another concept is Yaha Chandasam Rishabha. Here, Rishabha means one which leads. Chanda means Vedas. It means Om is the leader for all Chandas, that is Vedas. Om is the prelude to all Vedas. The Yoga Sutra of Patanjali talks about Om. Yogaha Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is to arrest the wandering mind. Patanjali Yoga Sutra calls Om as Ishvara Pranidhana, that is, accessing God with devotion. When you meditate on Om, Purvagraha Rahita, without any preconceived notions, Chitta Brahmana Rahita, without wandering of the mind, you will be able to concentrate and focus your mind. When you can focus your mind, Yoga Sutra speaks that the conflicts will vanish. Klesha karma vipakasha yaira paramrushtaha purushaha vishesha ishwaraha. Klesha karma, that is, conflicts of existence, can be driven away, says the Yoga Sutra, by having Atma Samyama, self-control, involving in meditation achieved through Om, and with an approach of devotion and dedication towards the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Aksharanam Akarosmi. The universe is the physical manifestation of sound reality. The homogeneous sum total of the sound in the cosmos is Om. Om is made up of A, U and Ma. A or A is the first letter and it is the first phase of the monosyllable Om and it is equated with Brahma. Aksharanam akarosmi, which Lord says is the manifestation of Om, the sound reality. In the 17th chapter, the Lord says,
Om tatsaditi nirdesho brahmanas trividah smrutah brahmanas tena vedascha yajñascha vihitah para. Om tatsat. This has been declared to be the triple designation of Brahman.
from them were made the Brahmana, the Vedas, the Yagnas.
Let us take a look at some other concepts about Om in the East. In Bauddha Dharma, Vajrajapa lays emphasis on Om. It starts from Om, the process of inhaling. The holding of the breath is Ah. The exhaling process is Hum. Om is at a center point, Kendra, Vishuddha, that is at the throat. Ah comes from the Nabhi Kendra, the navel point, or Manipura. Hum comes from Hrudaya, Anahata. Thus, Om is the Pranamulamsha, vital force, perceived as red in color. Ah, Agnimulamsha, the fire, perceived as yellow in color. Hum, Apamulamsha, the water, perceived as blackish blue, out of which comes the Manipadma mantra, Om Manipadme Hum.
The three parts of this mantra are compared with the words Kaya, Vacha and Manasa. Kaya represents the existence or the physical aspect. Vacha is expression or the word expressed. And Manasa represents mind or the consciousness. Out of the three evolves Manipadma mantra, Om Manipadme Hum.
Mani is luminous. That is how Om Mani Padme Hum becomes eternal. In Jaina Dharma, Namokara mantra is a very powerful mantra.
Eso Panchanamokaro Savva Papappanasano Mangalanancha Savvesim Padamam Hoi Mangalam.
This is Adi Mangala or this is Nibaddha Mangala. This mantra, Namokara mantra, is Savva Papappanasano. It can erase all your sins. That is how it is used in the Nitya Puja, in the daily prayers.
It is not just auspicious, but also primordially auspicious.
Out of the Mangalas, this is Adi Mangala. This Namokara mantra is used by the Shvetambara Jaina sects, Digambara Jaina sects, Sthanaka Jaina sects. There is a mention about the Namokara mantra in Dhawalatika and Shatkhandagama. Om Namo Arahantanam, Om Namo Siddhanam, Om Namo Airiyanam, Om Namo Ogyayanam, Om Namo Lova Ye Sauva Sahunam.
This mantra speaks about Arihanta. Om Namo Arihantanam. Arihanta is one who has control over all the senses. Om Namo Siddhanam. They are Siddha Purushas, one who has achieved through sadhana, tapasya or penance. Om Namo Airiyanam. Airiya refers to Acharya, one who guides you in your life. Om Namo Ogyayanam. Ogya is Upadhyaya, the teacher, one who teaches scriptures, and in the end, Sahunam refers to the sadhu, meaning people who walk the righteous path, and hence salutations to the great five. Namokara mantra starts from Om only. The Pancha Namokara mantra, it has 35 letters, 35 aksharas. Unlike Akara, Ukara and Makara, forming 2.5 units, Jainism elevates Om to a higher level. There it is A plus A plus A plus U plus Ma. So it has 4.5 units. The first A refers to Arahanta. The second A refers to Asharira. The third A refers to Airiya. U represents Ujnaya. Ma represents Muni. Totally making it as 4.5 raised to the power 4, giving rise to several combinations of vibrations. In Sikhism, Omkar is everything. This is called Mool Mantar. Ek Omkar Satnam Karta Purukh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murat Ajone Saibhang Gur Prasad Adi Sach Jugadi Sach Hai Be Sach Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. Omkar is the only truth. Omkar is a vehicle to take you to the Almighty, the God. There is no fear in that. There is no jealousy. It is timeless. Akal Murat. Ajuni. It is beyond the conjugal bliss. Not born out of yoni. Saibhang. It is self-illuminating. Guru Prasad. It comes with the grace of Guru. Adi Sache. Jugadi Sache. It was true in the beginning. It was true in the beginning of aeons, the yugas. Hai Bhi Sache. Today it is truth. And Nanak says, Hosi Bhi Sache. In future also, it is true. It is Akal, timeless, beyond all times. How does one pronounce Om? Our navel point, Nabhi, is an input point. When we are in the fetus stage, residing inside the womb of the mother, everything is input through the umbilical cord. That is how the navel point becomes an input point. Nada Tanu Manishau. Nabhi, Hrudaya and Kantha. Tanu is the body. Nabhi, the navel point. Hrudaya, the heart, and the Kantha, the throat. All the three form part of the Tanu, the Sharira, the body. It represents A. Next portion in the face is Nasika, the nose. It represents U or Ukara. Next comes the mind or the Buddhi. Buddhi is represented by Makara. When we do pranayama, you can feel the impact of the Omkara on these portions of the body. In pranayama, Yoga Tantra Marga depicts the control of the breath or the process of inhaling and exhaling, which makes Om as part of the whole process. At times, it is referred to as Hamsa Gayatri. All the mantras begin with Om. We say Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Manipadme Hum, Om Namo Arahantanam. Why? Why all these mantras begin with Om? Om is the primordial mantra evolved from the spota of the Creator. The other syllable, the words, are delivered from the microcosmic Rishi's thoughts. Each one of us, we want to relate ourselves to the past. If you ask my name, I say, I am C.V. Gopinath, through which I relate myself with my native place and with my father. I have seen my father. I had seen my grandfather. Though I had not seen my great-grandfather, I do take his name because I want to relate myself with the past.
In our system of identifying oneself,
We call it pravara.
in our ancient method, relating to our past envelops the form of pravara.
My pravara is
ಭಾರ್ಗವಚ್ಯವನ ಆಪ್ನುವಾನ ಔರ್ವ ಜಾಮದಗ್ನ ಪಂಚಾಋಷೇಯ ಪ್ರವರಾನ್ವಿತಃ ಶ್ರೀವತ್ಸ ಗೋತ್ರಃ ಆಪಸ್ತಂಭ ಸೂತ್ರಃ ಯಜುಶಾಖಾಧ್ಯಾಯಿ ಗೋಪೀನಾಥ ಶರ್ಮಾ ಅಹಂಭೋ ಅಭಿವಾದಯೇತ್.
though I have not seen the rishis, that is, the ancient rishis of my past, like Bhargava, Chavana,
ಆಪ್ನುವಾನ
Aurva, and Jamadagni,
I relate to them.
Om being the primordial sound, we try to relate to the most ancient or the origin or the primordial sound with all the mantras. That is how we say Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. It is also a practice to say Hari Hi Om in the beginning or in the end. Hari in Sanskrit, it has several meanings. Hari means horse. Hari means sun. Hari means Vishnu. The meaning of Vishnu is all-pervading, omnipresent. So, the Omkara, the primordial sound, is all-pervading. That is the meaning of Hari Hi Om. When we say He, the meaning is indeed. The Vishnu or the all-pervading is indeed Om.
We confirm by saying He.
When we pronounce Hari Hi Om, the level of energy is raised at He. It is also practiced to say in the beginning and in the end, taking the name of Guru as Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om is retained at every stage of religious growth in India. It has been conceived to mean all various ideas about God. Monists, dualists, monodualists, separatists, and even atheists have taken to Om. Let us come back to Mandukya Upanishad.
The concept in Mandukya Upanishad is Om is Avinashi. That means Om cannot be destroyed.
Mandukya is from Atharva Veda, smallest of the Upanishad with only 12 mantras. But from the philosophical point of view, Mandukya is the most important Upanishad. This is also referred as Muktika Upanishad, the Upanishad that can show you the path for salvation. It is said that for Mumukshu, Mandukya is the Upanishad. That is, Mumukshu means for one who seeks salvation, Mandukya is the door. Adi Shankaracharya in his Shankara Bhashya calls Mandukya as Vedantartha Sara Sangraha. That is, treasure of the essence of Vedanta. The Rishi Mandukya, after whose name the Upanishad gets identified, speaks about Nirakara Nirguna Brahma, but with a Nama Rupa Om. Om itself is defined as Brahma. Sarvam het Brahmaya Matma, Brahma Soya Matma Chatushpat. Relating Atma as Brahma, it is said that Atma has 4 padas. That means divisions. The 4 divisions of Atma: Sthula, the gross or the physical; Sukshma, subtle or the psychical; Karana, potential or the causal; Turya, transcendental or the metaphenomenal, are compared with the four divisions of Om, that is, Akara, Ukara, Makara, and Amatra. The fourth division, Amatra, is without measurement of time, or like the silent period between two Omkaras.
These four divisions of Om are also compared with
Four states of the Atma: Jagrata, awakening; Swapna, dreaming; Sushupta, deep sleep. There are no dreams, but status of consciousness; Turya, superconscious state. Thus, Mandukya becomes the beacon light to understand Om. Before I conclude, I would like to quote Swami Mukhyananda, a great monk of the Ramakrishna order. Says Swami Mukhyananda ji, Om is the most comprehensive, universal, non-personal, holy sound symbol and signifier, that is Vachaka, of the supreme, infinite, divine reality. The divine reality is the nature of the Ananta, Sat, Chit, Ananda. It manifests as the totality of the existence. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om.